is the Potpourri bowls. So I brought this one. I'm not going to let you pass it around. You come up and look at it. It's got that high dollar, overpriced box elder in it. And as I was telling a few people, this started off to be, where's my camera, sorry. This started off to be a vase. And it was, the chainsaw guy hit on one side and there was another piece on the top and it got whacked. And I had it for 2 years, and finally the other day I said, man, cut this in half, I get 2 potpourris. What I look for potpourri dishes is something unusual, the color of this, okay? I got this thing here. Here we go. Okay, so this is the matching one to that one I just showed you. The garage doesn't do it justice. It's out in the garage. That's the top view. It's about maybe 4.5 inches, 3 inches tall. Look for a piece of wood. Now most people start off with a 6 by 6 by 2 inch piece, and that's a good place to start. This is that one right there. I don't know what kind of wood there. Just a natural edge, just a normal edge, and that's the side of it with just a burn mark in it to give it some definition. There's a look at a different one, and it's got a kind of a foot on it. So also it's got sapwood and heartwood. You see the difference there? Something that will draw somebody's eye out. I'm looking for that oddball piece that somebody doesn't want on their cabinet or something that's going to make the potpourri dish or bowl jump out. I've got one in here that I think you'll see what I'm talking about. That one, I really like the ones that I have the edge super thin. And I think that's it. Where it's right on the edge of being too small. But some people just like it. And there is a problem with this one. Anybody? This should have rolled over a little bit more. It should have rolled over from a design standpoint. This should have come up and in a little bit more. But it didn't make it. Okay. There's the bottom of it. Another one, insert. And it's got 3 burns on it. And it has a foot to it. This is much taller. You can do a taller piece. I think that's 5 inches. Piece of ash. Got a lot of figuring in the ash. I'm looking for something that's oddball, something different. Maybe something that's had bugs in it, seriously. That is going to strike the fancy of the person viewing it, saying, hey, I really like it. I want to buy it. This one here, all right, so what did I do on that edge? Anybody? How did I get that edge burned? Not quite, close. Who said? Somebody else? I got a rag on it. I got a rag with a lot of, it's got a lot of TD grit in it. And now it gets hot, so you have to be careful that you don't burn your hands, guys, gals. But on cherry, what's one of cherry's downfalls? It burns, right? But it can give you a look, and it's got 2 burn lines in it. And okay, so did I perfectly? No, I didn't start off. I was trying to get the thing heated up to get the wax and stuff in it, and I started burning. I said, oh, okay, cool, a design opportunity. And I got it, and I got what I wanted out of it, but I didn't start off with a point of coming out to do that. But it got me where I wanted to go, and so I share that with you. There it is. That is the herringbone that didn't quite come out there. You see it on the top there? Now, if that doesn't come out there and it's off, and it's as bad as the one I did, you got to cut it down and go, in my opinion, and do it again. But that takes time, and it depends on what you want to do it. Okay, here's the side. I like the shape on this one. I think it's pleasing. So there's many different shapes you can put on the Potpourri. You're not limited. In fact, I didn't have a picture of one. You can do a square one where you put it in the center, but it's got to be dead on. But you can do a square piece, and you can take some of the edge off the corners. I had something I did this summer, but it wasn't a Potpourri, but something else. But you could still do it to get the effect. This one is corkwood, Amir corkwood. One of the guys got some from the Botanical Gardens, and it's really pretty wood. That's it on the edge. Now I think this Siberia elm, if you can get some, it's real pretty. It's really coarse, but you can, and it's got a lot of color and it's got sapwood in it. Just depends on what you want. You're looking for an oddball piece. Okay, where are we at next? All right. This has got different burning on the top, just to get somebody's attention. And this is a side view of it. I had the actual lid is actually raised up from the piece. Here's the one I wanted. You see the contrast because of the sap piece of wood. It's walnut, and the sapwood. It just, if you center it, it just stands out. If that's what you're looking for. Some people may not like the two-tone in it, but I certainly did. It gives it something to stand out next to somebody else's. The side view. I don't have this one anymore, but I took a picture of it. I really like the shape on this one. Small, it's walnut, you get a real good color. It may be a 4.5 piece by 2 or 3 inches. It just makes a really nice giveaway if that's what you're doing for someone. And I think that edge is really pleasing, real narrow edge on it. You have to be careful though, because you have limited space to go work on it. There's the side view I wanted. Yeah, I just think the edge came up and around. I think it got given away, but I really like that one. All right, I didn't make this one. Some guy from North Carolina did, but I thought it's a piece of Purple Heart, 6 by 6 by 2, and I have pictures of it. I just wanted to share that with you. Highly decorated on the top, and then also on the bottom. Now he got on with one of those big Sorby spiraling tools with the big wheel on it. You guys are familiar? That's what he did the bottom with. And yours truly did those. I think they're not too exciting. I'm looking at them and I'm thinking, okay, you must have been in a hurry to get the next one because it's the top. Well, I mean, when you critique, you got to be honest with yourself, don't you, Steve? And sometimes it hurts. Fortunately, but I'm looking at those and I did them and I'm going, must have been in a hurry, man. Where's that outstanding thing you want to do on it? And I have to admit, it's there, So, questions? The end. What's that? What about it? Oh, sure. Craft Supply, PSI, Penn in Pennsylvania, Penn in Pennsylvania, and Packard Tools in Tyrone, North Carolina. Now, Penn State sells them. You got to buy 8 for $29, $30 plus shipping. Kraft and Packard sell them unit. Do not put oil in here, boys and girls. Why? Well, that's one. It's porous. Yes, Steve. Yeah, excellent. You can epoxy in there. Okay, that's one. You can put epoxy. You're trying to sell this for $25, unless Steve, you're making. I'm making it for my mom, she's still alive. So don't put oil in it, Mom. Well, yeah, it'll go through. Wife put one in cherry, and cherry's closed grain, but it eventually went through it. You can put epoxy. The next thing you can do is put dry stuff in it. Dry potpourri. The second, you can get cotton balls and put the oil on the cotton ball and put cotton balls in there. Third, you can get those gain crystals that the guy is on the bus with and he smells them, they fall. Gain crystals go in there. If you go somewhere and you put these out and you put the lid in, And on display, you put the lid in, Sally, yeah, they're going to turn it over. Now, I carry rubber bands to go in mine, and I wrap them in bags. And now you can make the lid so it fits real tight, Steve. And I do make some that'll fit real tight. The problem with this is, we'll get into this, is this is pewter, and it's not perfectly round. So, but yeah, you could put epoxy. The TD down in Festus, he put epoxy because this happened to him. He sold it as a honey dipper, and the gal came back and said, "I bought my honey dipper from you, and it leaked." And sure enough, he did. So what he's gone, and he sells their taller, and he's got a deal. He puts the epoxy in it now, and but he might do 5 or 6 at a time. But yes. So what I do is we put those Gaines crystals in them, and that way they if you had it out, they smell, and it smells decent, you know. But most of these, and then when you're making these, maybe you won't. I've not been as fortunate. When you're making them, they end up on the ground once or twice. Some of them are fragile. One of the that one with the 2 birds in there, on the one I really liked, right where the 2 beaks come together in there, that is a thin point in there. And you drop it 4 or 5 times, it will break there. This is a testimonial. Some of these others aren't. So now I have a big bucket of sawdust, and my shop, I've got 3 layers of carpet that I stand on. But just beware of that. And if you put rubber bands on these, you put a bag, put rubber bands, okay, no problem. You put rubber bands on this and you use some kind of finish, that rubber band will leave a mark where it is, just so you know. I share what I know with you guys. All right, so we're going to make one if I find a piece of wood. Did we bring any wood? I've chosen mahogany today. I roughed it out pretty quick. Now, there's a couple ways you can do this. This is end grain. There's another one where I've done on the face grain. So you got side. The end grain, you won't have any, the end grain will be in the bowl, so you're not fighting it on the sides. Here, you're going to be fighting it on the sides. I also have done these. I've only turned one of these where I've glued up some 2 pieces of cherry, tops going this way, and then the bottom going this way. But I don't, we're not going to beat that up today, but we just have it here. So you can drill 2 1/8. You can use a worm screw and drill 5/16 to use a worm screw, and using a chuck. Glue blank, glue block on here. You could just screw it in there with a faceplate, and you could turn it between centers. I choose to drill it first with a 2 1/8. I start on the top with this, and that's what we're going to do here today. Here is one we'll pass around. It started off as spalted, and it's moved a little bit, and I haven't figured out whether I want to try to finish or not, but it's got undercut, and it's a good one to take a look at. All right, here we go. I think I almost didn't bring it was organized. All right, so just a reminder, the straws are going this way. All right, so we're doing a spindle. We checked up here, we're doing a bowl. All right. So what are we trying to, what's the big thing we're trying to get out of it? We want to get the lid to fit in here too, A, and B, we want to make a nice shape out of it. Otherwise, we could just take this thing and turn it, put a recess in the box, come back in, put the lid on the top and say, here it is. All right, so we'll see what this, we'll see how this turns. I'll probably get on there with a, Okay, we got it round enough, close enough. We're gonna go get a bottom going on this thing and get rolling. We didn't get quite. Yeah, it'll still work. It'll still work. It'll still work. So I'll get a spindle gouge on here, clean up the bottom. Small gouge, keep it right here. Now, doing something like this, also, you can do a mortise and pestle. Pestle? Not pistol, pestle. Mortise and pestle. And you can use the same thing. Now, I digress a little bit. I try to get, like I have some ash that's got checking in it. Well, on those, I'll put this on the bottom to simulate, with the cracks in it, fill it with CA glue to simulate crazing what's found on ceramic. So don't throw that wood that you got the cracks in it, because if they're not using the mortise and pestle for real use, it's just decorative. You can save having to cut that off, and a way to show a little different piece. All right, so I'm going to set that up at 2. We're going to put the relief in here. That's not quite good enough. 2 1/8. I know where this is. All right, yeah, we're not quite wide enough. Now, you might ask, why do I do it this way? I don't know, because I got into habit. The first thing I do is come over and I come on the line with the sorbet tool, and I catch the line. I come in to do the recess, and then I'll do one more. Now, I just thought of that. Why don't you just take that? I don't know. I just don't. Okay, so I'm looking at that. Not a quarter, maybe an 1/8. And then this ring that's still there, some people take it out. I'll show you what I do with it. If I keep from getting the catch there. Another tool I have, you demonstrated one, B squared showed me the one down at Festus, is this tool here. I use it when I want to clean that edge up. It's got a relief here, and sometimes when you got the tailstock in, you can't get in there you can't get in to clean that edge up, and that's what this is. This is nothing more than a high-speed steel Craftsman. This was either a round nose or a skew, and I just want to clean that one little edge up in there, and it's mahogany. When I came in there, it just didn't look real crisp. It didn't look crisp. Okay, so I've got that edge crisp and looking good. And why I have these covers on, you'll see all my tools covers on. I travel once a week. Not quite once a week, but once a week. And for me, it's helped protect my tools, so just throw them in the bag so I don't have to resharpen. That's why I have them on. Okay, so at this point, this is where you want to decorate. You want to get the thing, you want to put some decoration on the bottom, and most of the time we forget to do it because we move on to the next task. So here on the bottom, I'm going to do something. First, I'm going to take the tool rest back a little bit, and I'm going to use the texturing tool, 250. Doesn't have to be exactly 250, not 500, okay? Unless your machine only does 500, I prefer it down low. So I'm going to go straight in, and I'm going to try to be, I'm going to try to be right on center, the center line between the axis of the machine. I'll be outside the center, and I'm gonna lightly. Okay, so I didn't quite get it, that rose in there, because I've got the little, you'll see it, little curl coming off each one, but you really don't want that. You want that to get that rose, or to get that flower pattern. Then I'll come here and I turn it a little bit off center, I don't know, 20 degrees maybe, and I go outside that, and I'm holding it there. And then I come out to the outside edge and I lift up with the head down. And then, because I don't sand this inside, because you don't have to sand it if you cover it up, I just take this and run the wheel from here back and forth. Now the eye likes to see, these are all, as I'm looking at it from mine, I know you can't see it, they're all blended together. So the point tool, you get in with the point tool, and the reason I got to stop it is I can't see it. Okay, over here, we'll come back. I come back in here with the point tool. That adds definition so the eye can see break the two. All right, we're going to go out here, see if we can do some with the outer edge. Oh, much better, much better. Oh, yes, very good. All right.
Hey, Tom.
Yes.
The sorbet tool normally has that flat piece that's on the barrel.
You can use that. It comes with that a gauge or flat piece. Yes, you can.
So is it just because you flopped it back all over the place and you didn't want to have to sit there and keep changing it?
I think if you're doing down a spiral and you want really exactness, I think it's cumbersome if you're doing small stuff there. But if you're wanting to run down a spiral, and it's got a ID mark here, and it has on it, you come down here, run it down this way, and then turn it, and then I would buy two tools, so I had one here on this side and this side. But yeah, that you could do it that way. Also, the freehand gets you more practice holding the tool, getting it right, getting it wrong, and time is money, switching that thing back and forth. I'm not saying don't use it. I just have found that I've got my strength up by my better texturing skills by doing it freehand.
Thanks. I was just wondering, because now I might take mine off.
Well, the different things, and what's Nick Agar, he uses a long handle. There's one that's about this much longer. Yeah. He likes it better.
Yeah, I have
more strength.
I have the long-handled one.
Yeah.
And so
yeah,
I just thought maybe the short-handled one didn't have that. But
no, they'll all have it.
Oh,
they'll
okay.
all, even the kit that just shows the top part.
Yep.
With no handle, it comes with that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tom.
Yep. So this is a point where it's decorated. Now I can see I got a problem with one. I've got some leftover stuff in there. What do we got? What is that? Okay. So we've got the bottom done. And we haven't shaped it, but we got the bottom done. I don't need to go back to the bottom anymore, but I can. So I'm going to take and the dish, come around, and I'm going to work on shape right now, roughly what I think I want to go with. Any of you take it, they tell you don't take it off the chuck and rechuck it again. It is not good to do. I slightly disagree with that. I know you run the risk when you put it back on that it may not be on in the right exact place. I will offer this to you. If you practice putting it back on, finding it, because you didn't get it right on, it builds up confidence and skills that I can get back on. You feel like you take it off, take it off. Feel the notch where it grabbed in there. You're coming around here. Oh yeah, I felt it coming around here, locked in. So I offer that encouragement. Now, if you don't want to do it, don't. You don't have to. But you're looking for where it fit. Let's see, we got it. Yeah, I got it rechucked on. So I share that with. Sure. Yeah. Now you could do this with a tenon, everybody. The reason I don't do tenon and I do the recess, I'm done with the bottom. I'm done. I don't have to finish it again. I'm done. And that's why I do it on the snowman. I put the recess in. I'm done. Theoretically, I don't have to go back and worry about taking the tenon off. There's nothing wrong with tenons. I just the process is turning. Now I do lose a little bit of wood by doing that because the chuck's got to come up, the jaw's got to come in there. But that's one of my biases. We all have biases. Yeah. All right, so here we got shape. All right, so got spindles. I'll use a spindle roughing gouge. I'm going to go. Okay. Not right. So I got a shape on it. Still not real happy with it. Okay, so all right. So these are basically 3 inches. They're not interchangeable. They're not all the same. I will tell you, the butterfly is the biggest one, then the bird. The grapes is the smallest one. That's just based on experience. It's roughly, it shows it under 3 inches. It's 3 inches. So we'll work on that one. So if somebody tells you you have one in there and they want to change, if you know you have the grapes and they want to go to the butterfly, yes, you can do it. If they have the butterfly and they want to go something else, think insert. So you got to build an insert. Okay, so we're going to go with the grape. I'm going to show you real quick how to do it. It's 3 inches. I'm going to start off with 3 inches out here. And all right, so the first cut I got out there is at 3 inches. And I've jumped way ahead. I really haven't left myself enough room on the design, but we're still going to get there. All right, so I have a rough idea where that dimension is, out 3. It's not quite there, but I'm out at 3. But I have to get in and get this material out. Now, one way I can get the material out, we could drill it out, right? I brought a drill, about the bit, we can get it out. This mahogany, we might be able to get in and hog it out with a bowl gouge. But I want to keep this from poking me in my right elbow here. A little catch there, didn't have the bevel on the wood. All right, so I mean, I don't have a problem drilling it out. Some people don't drill it out. On the deeper ones, it's up to you whether you want to drill it out. It does beat you up and down if you're making a bunch. So I've got a scraper. I'm going to clean up this edge. Another reason I picked mahogany for the demo is it's easier wood to cut than, say, cherry. So I've got the bottom out. Not terrible, but it's okay. All right, so we want to get in to see how this fits. This trial and error. folks. And the other thing you're fighting in here is these. This one's got 4 on them. I forgot about that. The grape's got 4 on them. The other ones have got 3. Yeah. Okay. So the grape. I think the grape comes from the Packard PSI. These I know come from Craft Supply. The butterfly, the hummingbird, and something else. So you've got that, which is, I don't know, roughly 1/4 inch in. So you can do one of 2 things. You can grind these off. They're a little hard, but you can grind them off. Or you have to adjust this outside edge here and this inside edge as we're going in so it fits. And the first thing the new people do, me included, is you don't account for the stubs in there correctly. So we're going to go in there and we're going to go in and get this thing to fit. And yeah, it's got to go wider. But you also have to check this inside ring too as you're doing this, because that inside ring. Okay. Now you can recess this, which I've done. You can also put it on top and cut the edge down to show it raised. Yes, I did. A little bit loose. Remember, these are not round. They're not round. Yes, hang on. There it is. The tips are hanging up. I can see it. I left a mark on one. All right. It's not too bad. Whoa. All right. So I have the, it's a touch loose. It's running out of time. Normally I would decorate the inside of this. Now it's pretty far in. And if you're in down about 2 inches, you might not want to get a texturing or a knurling tool in there, but you can always get your point tool in. If you support it, you can do a couple rings in there. A lot of people don't do deep, but I mean, you can put something in the bottom. And there you have it. Questions? Concerns?
Thank you, Mr. Zeller. Appreciate it.
Yep. All right.